All right, so what is Cisco Secure Workload? Cisco Secure Workload itself is a ready-to-go platform. It's a hybrid cloud workload protection platform. It is designed to secure your compute instances in both your on-prem data center and in your public cloud. So these compute instances now, they can be virtual machines, they can be bare metal servers, or they can be containers, doesn't matter. It can be Linux, it can be Windows, operating system. It can be IBM AIX. So now, that being said, we can go ahead and see the exact features, and then I can practically show those features so that it's very clear. One of the most important things, number one, with Cisco Secure Workload, you can get complete visibility into the application components that you have, right? Into the communications of the application and dependencies to enable your zero trust model and protect all the application assets. That was number one. Number two, now, okay, you want to do that, but who is going to create the segmentation policy for you? The answer is, it automatically generates the micro-segmentation policy based on the application behavior. And it also provides a mechanism for including any existing security policy based on your business requirements. So, 2 is done. Number 3, now that we have this segmentation policy, micro-segmentation policy, now it's time to enforce it, apply it. So, CSW helps you enforce this micro-segmentation policy across all multi-cloud, right? It can be Google, it can be Azure, it can be AWS, across all these workloads, no matter where they are, to minimize the lateral movement. So now you have this enforcement across everywhere. Okay, so number four, it helps you in identification of software vulnerabilities and exposures to reduce the attack surface. And number 5, it provides process behavior baselining. What is the baseline? What is the normal behavior? And it also identifies deviations. And that is for the faster detection of any IOCs or indicator of compromise. So what is normal? What's not normal? Well, I'm definitely going to show each feature practically one by one. But that being said, to achieve these capabilities now, Cisco Secure Workload uses both agent-based and agentless approach to collect this telemetry data, right? And understand the workload context and enforce a consistent, distributed, zero trust segmentation policy at scale. For more context, the good thing is that Cisco Secure Workload also integrates with Cisco AnyConnect for your endpoints and Cisco ISE, Identity Service Engine, to bring user context and endpoint context into the segmentation policy. They mentioned a specific IP address, things like that. So now, that being said, this allows now the administrators to define the policies in order to kind of restrict application access based on user, based on user group, based on user location, and other related attributes. So, in a summarized way or in a nutshell, Cisco Secure Workload micro-segmentation approach helps contain lateral movement between workloads across any data center or cloud environment through the zero trust segmentation controls. So this is the first part. Now let's practically go and see each one by one. Okay, now let's specifically focus. Number one, we mentioned that the CSW, Cisco Secure Workload, helps us in the application behavior insight. We said that it identifies application components and in-depth dependencies. So let's see that. First of all, we are going to go ahead and click on Organize. This is the bundling or the grouping or the scope of the servers. As we can see here, we have got the main MS Lab, and then we have got the AppDev servers. Inside AppDev servers, you can see the inventory is 2, or you have 2 workloads or 2 servers, 31 and 32, right? And then let's say I have got domain controller. Based on the query, you can see the role contains domain, so 2 of them here. If I click on the SharePoint, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 servers involved. Okay, so let's look into the application components and their dependencies. So right now, if I click here in the SharePoint, my focus is on the SharePoint servers, which includes all these 5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead to the defend and to the segmentation, all right, and then find that SharePoint. As you can see here, this is my SharePoint, and inside SharePoint, this is my primary. Let me click. Okay, you can see that it says the number of enforced policies, analyzed one, and the draft. It tells me about the policy discovery. It tells me about workload health and policy analysis. Right now, I'm going to click on Manage Policies. So here we can see the ports and the protocol required or used for communication among these. You can see them all. So this is the detail, right? So it gives you the detailed communication, right? But if you want to see the exact components and how the application mapping, so the application policy mapping, if I click here on the right side, say policy visual view, you can see that this is the map. It tells me that I have got the SharePoint distributed cache tier, I have got the database tier, I have got the search tier, I have got the so on, and it shows in the domain controllers and so on. So if I click on the domain controllers, it tells me that domain controller includes 2 servers, DC1 and DC2. You see, they are part of the domain controllers. Now, I can see each communication. If I click on them, it's telling me that the action is allow, the port is, the priority is 100, protocol is TCP and 88 and so on and on. So, okay, so I have got full visibility. I can see dependency. I can see, who is communicating with who over what port. And I can check and analyze, hey, what happens if A communicates to B? Will it work? Yes or no? So as an example, first on the top, you guys can see that we've got the matching inventory. It says this is the policies first, and then the filters, the conversation that is happening, and you can see who communicates with who, right? And we can also see the services between the provider and the other side. But you have policy analysis. We can see what is permitted, what is rejected, and what policy escaped the rules. And we can exactly see at what specific time. We can filter our time and see the exact communication between these. Let's say between SP search 1 and DC2. As you can see here, the port numbers are mentioned, but if I click in here, it's going to give me more detail that, hey, this IP, this port communicates with this IP and this port. So basically, it's these processes on the server that is using these port numbers. All right, this is the username, this is the process, and that's the flags, and so on and on, right? So, and it says that end of the day it is allowed. And then I can see the enforcement status of what is happening in terms of the agent enforcement enabled and agent policy config and so on. So here is the detail of, is the enforcement enabled, yes, no, concrete policies, so what is happening. And then finally it's about the enforcement, right? So as you can see, we have got enough detail in terms of the communication and components and so on and on. So that being said, even we can see each server. Let's say if I am going here to organize the scopes, I have deep visibility inside those server processes as well. For example, if I go, let's say, to domain controllers, if I click on one of these, because of the agents installed on these, so as you can see here, this is DC1, this is the agent health is good, and the enforcement health is okay. And now we can even see the processes inside what is running. So for example, if I go ahead and click on the process snapshot.
All right, so what you're seeing right now is a process snapshot feature within the Cisco Secure Workload. Um, at its core, a process snapshot in Cisco Secure Workload is a point in time record of all processes running on a specific workload, like a server or virtual machine. In this case, it's a server, Windows Server. So think of it as a freezing time and getting a detailed list of everything that was active at that exact moment. It captures crucial details like process names, the unique IDs, the user accounts running them, the specific command line used to launch them, and this information is absolutely essential, mainly for two reasons. Number one, security forensics. So it allows you to see exactly what software and commands were running on a machine during security incident, which is critical for understanding what happened. Number two, it helps you in troubleshooting, which means it helps you identify problematic, unexpected, or resource intensive processes that might be causing application issues or performance degradation.
On the server, as you can see here, it starts with the agent health, the agents installed on the server, right? So how is it going on? And then how much of the CPU, and we're going to talk about the agent, how much of the CPU is being used. So we want to make sure our agents not over consuming use CPU and memory and so on and on. So this is agent resource utilization that's also monitored, right? You can see all of the processes running on that specific server. You can see that. So this is the services, and these are the long-lived processes that's been running for so long. They're even monitoring all that. And this process snapshot, this is the interfaces, this is the packages installed on the server, right? So there's all of these list of applications installed on that server, and we're going to talk a little bit about vulnerabilities coming up, that it shows these are the vulnerabilities on the server. So if I click on one of these, it takes me back to the nest and says that, hey, this is the CVE number and detail, what needs to be done, patching, and so on, so I can connect back to Microsoft, wherever it is, and then see details, and then you can do the patching, whatever we can do, or we can do soft patching and things like that. Okay. And you can see here is the config. When you're installing the agent on the servers itself, these are the configurations that you have to pick. In this case, we can see that it is enforcement this type. So we're enforcing the policy that we have. We're not just doing the visibility part, and all that. We can come back and talk about it. You can see the stats, see the CPU, the memory, right, the bandwidth and flows and so on, and missed packets. We can see the health of the enforcement, how's everything going on in terms of enforcement, detail there. We can see the policies, you see that what is allowed. So everything is being monitored. So when I say identify application components and in-depth dependencies, there's a lot going on. We don't have a container here, but it's got the policies there, network anomalies there, and file hashes that we can talk about. Basically most of the stuff are here, and the dashboard when you get it started. Vulnerability score, process hash, attack surface, forensic score, network anomaly score, segmentation compliance score, and then right now we are focusing on that specific domain controller, but we can say in general, tell me what do you think, so we can specifically select whatever container or entire site that we want, and based on that we can do a deep dive. All right, so this was the application behavior insight, as we mentioned. Now, the second thing was the automated microsegmentation policy generation, right? Generate consistent microsegmentation policy based on application dependencies, and we already saw that, right? Under investigate, under defend segmentation, we could see manage policies for specific servers, in this case SharePoint, and we could see that everything is in here, and from the conversation, right, to your policy analysis, to your enforcement, all the way. So automated microsegmentation policy generation. So as we mentioned that we can see what is happening over here, and this is automatically discovered, created for us, and it's up to us to enforce it based on what we want to do with it, right? So this is the second part, which I totally explained it and showed on the dashboard. Now automated policy enforcement, number 3 mentioned. Then as we talked earlier as well in the interview, there we could do the enforcement using our let's say FMC, our firewalls, and so on and on. So if I go ahead to the workload and configure the virtual appliance, enable a connector, so you can see that we can integrate it with our AWS, Azure, GCP, and Cisco secure firewall, your identity connectors, and we can have our flow ingests, as you can see here, the net flow collectors. We can do, we can flow ingest, and we can connect with our F5, our Netscaler, Meraki, Cisco secure firewall, and the endpoints to grab information from AnyConnect, ICE, and and so on and on and on. So everything is here so far. Okay, so we mentioned as point number 4 the compliance, the policy compliance, that it detects your policy deviation in minutes and ensures that application policy compliance is there. So as you can see in the dashboard right now, this is our score, so we can pick a specific date, and we can adjust weight as well, that what has how much weight in terms of the dashboard. But as of right now, let's see how much of our segmentation is in place, right? Apply. So if I look here, this says the segmentation compliance score. So if I click on this one, it will exactly take me there, and it says that hey, there are 2 policies that are that is kept, 19 rejected, and 34 permitted, and so on. So this is my score. So if I click here, it explains for me that hey, we have got the agent types. So we have got deep visibility agents, we got enforcement agents, and we also have something like AnyConnect, using which we can grab the context. But what is the compliance score? So a segmentation compliance score is an indication of how effectively enforced workspaces are based on observed, right, rejected, and escaped flows. So rejected and escaped flows are a sign that enforcement isn't reliable and should be investigated, right, and so on. This is further explanation, and so on and on. And if we go ahead to the defend, right, and we can exactly have the section called enforcement status, which says, it gives information that, hey, for these communication, what has happened? Enforcement is enabled, yes or no, and then what has happened, right? As we mentioned in the defense section, we could go ahead to the segmentation, and then we could go ahead and select, let's say that, let's go to the data center, maybe, or SharePoint. Let's pick this one, and then enforced. Okay, let's click on manage policies, and then here we can see the conversation, the enforcement status again on them, and this is the actual enforcement, right? So here is the detail where it says, hey, show me like how many are permitted, rejected, or escaped. Full detail is here. So in this case, all that happens, and and this is the detail, as we can see the full detail of what is happening, and so on and on. Just gonna save your time a little bit, but yeah, the outbound policy and so on and on. And as I mentioned, we can also do analysis, and say what happens if A communicates with B, and so on and on. Yeah, so that is about automated policy enforcement. It was policy compliance that we talked about. The next thing, point number, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point number 5 was that CSW takes care of the process behavior baseline and deviation. So that means it collects the complete process inventory along with the process hash information, the baseline, and then it kind of baselines the behavior and identify deviations. What does that mean? So as I mentioned, showed before, as we can see, it already records, watches all the processes running on the specific workload. So in this case, if I go ahead and click on, let's say, a DC, let's see, do we have domain controllers? Like one of these are my workload, one of my workloads. If I click on them, you see Cisco Secure Workload already knows that what are the exact applications running on them, right? Which is the packages, everything installed. So you can see the entire detail, right? What version, right? Okay, and then what about the processes, right? If you click on the processes that have been running it for so long, and that's you can see everything running. So all of a sudden there's an escalation, the privilege escalation PowerShell script running, it will be automatically detected because that's something new, right? So everything is being monitored here, so we know exactly what process. And then you can see here a snapshot, as you can see here, that it's going to look for privilege escalation here, or any forensic event, right? Or if it has, like, there's a vulnerability here, right? Like you can see here everything. There's snapshots taken, so everything is being monitored here. It's about the file hashes, right? That is being monitored. Network anomalies, being monitored. So like everything on that machine, so that there's a baseline, and based on that it can decide. Okay, well, then the next one is software inventory and vulnerability detection. All right, so we already know about the software, the packages, right? We already saw that, but let's go to the dashboard, main menu. Here we can see that there is something called vulnerability score, So right now we are seeing that the number is 40. It's supposed to be 100. It's low, something wrong. And if I click on vulnerability score, like who are the culprits, who are the source, who are causing that, and we can see these are the workloads in the list, and on the top I see the DC02. So if I want to understand a little bit here, the dashboard, you can see this is the workload score distribution, and this is the vulnerability score 40. And if I click on this, it's going to tell me that what is vulnerability score. A vulnerability score is an indicator of security posture in your deployment as it relates to software package vulnerabilities. In order to assess the security posture, we use multiple indicators such as common vulnerability scoring system, right? And how is it created? How is it calculated? So in my case, if I go ahead and click on the server to find out, right? Click on it. It tells me that these are the most vulnerable packages on them, right? And then if I click on the CVE, it's going to exactly take me to Nest, and then where I can have the detail and the solution and the patching and so on. So that is software inventory and vulnerability detection that we talked about. And not only that, there is also a section under investigate. You can see here vulnerabilities. All of the detail is here. So here it tells me about the number of CVEs, the packages, and the workloads, right? Now you can see the different sections. It tells me that if there's a fix available for it, if this one is easily exploitable, right? Or if there's already an active internet breach on it, or this malware is exploitable, or if it's a popular target, right? Or if it's a protected exploitable, right? So all of that is mentioned, and this is exactly, as you can see here, the CVEs list, right? From what year, what's the score, and what is the Cisco security risk score on that, and the severity, and so high, and so on and on, right? This is the entire detail on them. And then these are the packages, right, that have vulnerabilities, and these are the workloads that you have in general. All right, so highest score, lowest score, everything is here. So that is how it takes care of that part. In the last part was about forensic analysis. As I mentioned, that it detects anomalous or malicious workload behaviors as possible indicators of compromise with full granularity and for forensic analysis. So that being said, it means if we come here and let's say we go to defend, and then first of all we see that we have forensic rules in place, right? And then as you can see here as an example that says that suspicious, this is the name, suspicious Microsoft Office behavior. What happens if a predefined rule that alerts and records if winword.exe or excel.exe or powerpoint.exe creates a child process? So when I start one application, it is not supposed to create another child process. And if it does, this is something abnormal. This is suspicious. So we're going to receive alert and record as severity is going to be high. So there are predefined rules. As you can see here, the next one is suspicious DLL host.exe behavior. A predefined rule that alerts and records if DLL host creates a child process, right? And so on and on and on. And then we can, if something like that happens, and then under investigate, we're going to see that forensics, and then we're going to have that report. We can filter it based on a specific time. that tell me what happened on that specific time. And then in that specific time, you can see that there is titration anomalous unseen command. A new command is seen. It was never before, for the first time. This is not common. Check it out. I mean, we have been having the server for 3 months, but nothing like that. All of a sudden, this is new. So watch out. There's a new process there. So you see how nice this is. And if I can go inside, it tells me that, hey, you know, this one that you see, right, as you can see here, so this, they have run the command which is con host.exe, you see, and this goes under system 32. See there, this is the dependency. See how they all work together. So as you can see here on the top is this process, which is NT authority system when it.exe, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So this is how they are working together, right? The dependency and so on. And if I click, see, this is the workflow. This is how it's run, right? That runs this, and this runs that, and so on and on. So this is not normal. Okay, and then and so on and on, and it shows you that the command, the server, all right, all the details that you require. Let's say go to the next one. You can see here, there we go, the SC. You see here, this is the part which is new. You see here the SC part, and then that's the detail. And it's on the top, you can see it is, you can be labeled, you know, based on whatever it is, and so on. So yeah, so we discussed the application behavior inside, we discussed the automated microsegmentation policy generation, we discussed automated policy enforcement, we talked about policy compliance, we talked about process behavior baseline and deviation, we talked about software inventory and vulnerability detection, and we talked about forensic analysis, and yeah, these were the key stuff. What about open ports? Yeah, what about open ports? So if I click on the attack surface, right, attack surface is score 21, and I see that there are servers, but DC2, the number is 2, way crazy. Why is that? And if I click what is attack surface, click here, it explains that an attack surface score is an indicator of security posture in your deployment as it relates to open ports on those workloads. So if those ports are not used, why is it open? So people can attack. And you know, the common attack, you know, the common ports that the hackers attack are these, and so on. So if I click on this DC02, click on it, it tells me that, hey, you see port 500 ISA KMP is open, right? And then the next port is 3269, 3389, and there's no package using it, right? But why is it open? So right now we can see that there is a total of 997 ports open, and go ahead, close them, and so on and on and on and on. So yeah, in general, as we can see here, that is how Cisco Secure Workload kind of helps us out. Vulnerability score, process hashes score, attack surfaces score, forensic score, network anomaly score, and segmentation compliance score. But every score and all of them together shows on the top. But we can go ahead and, you know, pick a specific date and time, or we can just see it, just, you know, filter it down to the SharePoint, and so on and on. So I hope this part is a little bit useful and understanding on the features that are provided. Okay. So in a nutshell, to see the score breakdown here, everything is pretty self-explanatory. You can see that, all clear, but the kind of summarized way to explain this, I would say the first one, the vulnerability score, which is 40. This score evaluates the severity of software vulnerabilities, and install packages on workloads, right? It uses the CVSS, or Common Vulnerability Scoring System. The second one is the process hash score. This assesses the consistency of process binary hashes across workloads, right? And then, as mentioned, if you click on them, you click here, this is the exact detail of what I'm talking about, and this is the way it is calculated. The next one, if I go back, is the attack surface, right? So this score measures the risk posed by unused open ports on workloads, right? And open ports without traffic are considered potential vulnerabilities. And then if I click on it, this is the exact detail, and this is the way it is calculated, so you can read further. Let's go back up. The next one was our forensic score. So this one reflects the severity of forensic events detected on workloads, such as unauthorized access attempts or suspicious activities. And then if I click on it, and here you can see what is it all about, and you can see how it is calculated. If I go back, all right, and the next one for me is the network anomaly score, which evaluates unusual network activity such as data exfiltration or abnormal traffic patterns. So if I click on network anomaly score, here is what it is, and here is how it is calculated. Finally, let's go back up, and then segmentation compliance score is pretty self-explanatory, right? So this score measures compliance with microsegmentation policies by assessing the permitted versus escaped flows. So if I click on it, and here, so this is what it is, and this is how it's calculated, right? But the very good thing is we have got here investigate, so we can see the traffic, and here we go, we can see the traffic, the consumer name, provider name, who talks to who, under what process, right? And what user, and then I can see the detail, all right? Exactly the processes involved, the users involved, and so on, and the flags involved, and the bytes and the packets. And this is the flow detail that we can see, and I can explore observation, and I can go ahead and further see the dimensions, and I can do a lot of customizations and so on and on. Yes, so you can see all those details here. But the good thing is finally the reporting section, which is very, very nice. You can see one of the questions normally is that how do you ensure that it's done, segmentation is taken care. This is a good place to see it. So we have got the overview, what tells me about the segmentation summary. The total enforced policies are 97, but analyzed is 98. Draft policies 98, and now I can see coming down the workspaces with higher number of policies, right? Here's the detail of what kind based on this color coding, and then it's connectors or orchestrators that we're going to talk about. Then the number of agents, the summary, workload summary comes here, and then the traffic summary, and this is the security summary of the CVEs. You can see that the number of critical severity that we have 41, high is this, and then medium is this, and low is this, and things like that. If I go back up, this is my operation and in my operation, I can see the inactive agents and agents which has issues, right? Health issues. The consumer, and these are the top 10 hosts based on the flows on both sides. These are the unused user accounts, unused API keys. In terms of segmentation summary, now it tells me that, hey, workspaces without enforcement. There's no enforcement here. All right. This is the workspace where enforcement has taken place. It's done. And then policy analysis here. As you can see here, how many enabled. Going down, and a number of scopes that are there. Cluster summary, orchestration. And these are very useful ones. And finally, look at the compliance, right? We can always do time range and can generate PDF reports and so on. If I go to the compliance, this exactly tells me that you have got 5 workload, and 4 of these workloads has got CVEs, and this is the severity on them. And this is the attack cycle. This is a very important one. It shows what is happening, who has, like, how many initial access on my network, how many executions be done, what about persistence, what about privilege escalations done, right? What about defense evasions, what about critical credential access, what about discovery, what about lateral movement in command and control, right? Exfiltration, all of them. If there's something happening, we can see it. We can see this very detailed in the Cisco Secure Analytics as well. And then, yeah, workspaces with CVEs, top 5, and so on and on. So yeah, hope this was a little bit useful. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, Cisco Duo. So based on the layers of zero trust, or the pillars, the first one is identity, and based on like Nest and CISA alignment, it mentions that you gotta have continuous verification via MFA and least privilege. So the key components involved here are, of course, the user device authentication and adaptive trust. So the Cisco products here are, of course, the most important one here, MFA, is Duo Security. And Duo has 3 main packages: the Essentials, Advantage, and Premier. And it's all about the user trust, device trust, adaptive authentication, and policy enforcement, and then finally about the SSO. So as you can see, the Premier has everything covered, and I have configured Premier, so I have configured all features. I know them like the back of my hand. And a quick, I'm just gonna show you a little bit a quick overview here. As you can see here, and we start with the home, where you can just simply see your bypass users, your lockout, and inactive ones, all of them. And then you can see the authentications. You can customize the 48 hours or whatever you want to see. And then you can see the logs here in the dashboard, who logged in, who passed, who failed, and what kind of risk-based policy assessments were processed or not. And then basically these are the users. It's a very simple, straightforward interface. So you can see your users, you can see your groups, you can see their name and the tokens they used and how they came in. Actually, there are different methods to do the authentication. We have the Duo Mobile, the soft token, phone callback, wearables, SMS, biometric, hardware tokens, security keys, and so on. So you can click on the devices. You can see here the phones, endpoints, hardware tokens, web auth, and so on and on. So pretty straightforward. Then we have the policies. I've configured all of these policies, including the interesting one, self-service portal, the what we call the policy calculator, the password, and so on and on. And then applications, right? So using Duo, we can allow applications. As you can see here in the Premier package, you can give access to the applications, and those applications can be anywhere, right? Those applications can be on your AWS, Azure. There's like DNG, there's a gateway that you can use. You can just also use it for the secure access at SSH or RDP and things like that. You know, all of these, I've just configured all of them. What else? The report is very interesting. It gives you all the authentication logs, whatever that you require. It's pretty self-explanatory and so on. And when it comes about monitoring, again, very, very clear, easy to understand. So you do the monitoring and see what's going on. Yeah, that was a kind of like around 3 minutes, a quick intro on the Duo. All right. The next one is the Cisco ICE. So again, part of the layers of zero trust pillars. In the IDT section that we also talk about Cisco ICE because we're talking about device authentication and posture, right? So let's see what ICE does for us. ICE is a AAA server, what does for us the authentication, uh, then authorization and accounting, right? Who you are, what you can do, and let's monitor what you did, okay? As easy as that. So as you can see, using ICE, we can go ahead and take care of users, devices, things. We're going to allow them .1x or map the methods that we have. We can authenticate and allow devices. That includes your switches, your WLCs, your VPNs, and so on. And then for the implementation, it can be in virtual environment, it can be physical servers that it has, you can do the clustering, personas, concepts like that. We can connect to the identity stores like, backend Active Directory, so that if a user is coming from a VPN, first it has to come from that specific firewall, and then through a specific firewall, and then the user should be, there in the Active Directory authenticated, and then we're going to allow them to come in. Or the same for the users who are connected to the local LAN and so on. So you can integrate the MDMs like Microsoft, Intune, and so on and on. If everything goes well, let the user in, and so of course we can integrate that with FMC and of course the firewalls, right? There's a huge list of ecosystem that we can connect it to it, including the secure network analytics, see the ports if there is an abnormal behavior, port scanning, so on, stop that, and things like that. So that being said, the main functions with the ICE, I have configured every one of them. .1x, I've configured .1x, I've configured map, easy connect, passive ID, with your FMC and so on, of course. I've done the deployment, I've done the clustering. It allows you to guest access. I can practically show you on the right side as a quick demo, but we can go like hours discuss this and deep dive into this one as well. I'm just trying to show you a quick one so that it's clear. It takes care of your compliance and posture. We're gonna see that context exchange with different entities. Segmentation. I'm gonna show you how this is integrated with DNS Center and how it can help the DNS Center. It's gonna make it so beautiful when it's integrated with DNS Center. That's what is mentioned here, the SDA DNAC, that integration. I'm gonna practically show you that one. So you can see how many operations it can perform. And threat containment, automatic threat containment, so on is there, and device administration, of course, is part of that. So there is no feature that I have not configured on ICE. And I know ICE as well, like the back of my hand. I mean, I've done so many implementations of ICE. So as you can see here, this is ICE dashboard, and the first thing that we see, the summary is, okay, we have the endpoints. How many endpoints? 21. How many active? How many dejected? Right? And you can see the anomalous behavior at authenticated guests and so on. So here, these are my authentications, and you can see right now I am on the identity store. So it shows which method is used for coming in, and we have the identity groups and so on and on. And then we have the network devices here, and the endpoints. Now it's profiling kind of shows that, hey, this many is coming through Microsoft Workstation, this many is through the next vendor, and this one is through Cisco, and so on and on and on. And that being said, we have context visibility where we can see the endpoints, and this is a detailed view of saying, okay, this is the MAC address of the device, this is the IP, the username is Grace, and then he's got this host name of this, location this, and endpoint profile is Microsoft Workstation. All the good details, and the method that's coming is .1x, MS-CHAP, and so on, right? You see the authentication, the method is here. So we can see all those good stuff here. We can see the same thing in terms of the users, network devices. Now this is the user information and all the details here. So in the operations, we can see the live logs, like what's happening on the switches, on the devices currently. It has got a lot of lovely troubleshooting tools that we can use. nice reports. And then when it comes about a policy, all the posture that we talked about, right? The posture, like, it's got to be this kind of operating system, and if it is this, then do this, all those stuff. And administration is a very important one. Yes, it gives us multiple tabs. And this is our identity management, where you can connect to Active Directory or other sources and then mention which one is the first source, which is the second source. Let me click on that, for example. You can see here, this is the identities on the very first one, and then this is the external identity sources that we can connect it to the external identity, like the MDM and so on and on. And this is the deployment licensing certificates, pretty self-explanatory, nothing kind of complicated when you have it ready to use. Yes, so there's as I mentioned, like there's a lot. If just want to mention that identity, the ICE, I have done all the feature sets, and that being said, it's got the Essentials, Advantage, and Premier licenses. I have consumed, implemented Premier, which gives us compliance, posture, MDM, and TCNAC. The Advantage license gives you PX Grid, user-defined network, TrustSec, and then endpoint network, endpoint analytics, visibility, and rapid threat containment, and so on. So all of that. But Essentials, it gave you the basic AAA.1x. Also your guest, which includes your hotspot, self-registered, and what we call the Easy Connect, sponsored Easy Connect. All of these are available at the Essentials license. So that is and then of course, for the when you're consuming the Premier license and you want to have the posture and so on, so you need to have the Cisco Secure Client, which was called previously, we called them AnyConnect, and has got multiple modules. It's got one module which is a secure endpoint module, another one for network visibility, umbrella, ICE posture module. So then once you have ICE posture module, that is where you get the posture and so on. So it's a requirement on the computer side if you're looking for posture and so on. Well, now it's time to go and see DNA Center, DNAC, quickly. Let me pull that up. All right, let's have a quick chat on the Cisco DNA Center. Cisco renamed it to Cisco Catalyst Center. Well, this is a centralized network management system that uses AI to automate, secure, and optimize enterprise networks. It simplifies tasks like device configuration, policy enforcement, and troubleshooting across wired, wireless infrastructure, while providing insights into application performance and user experience. There's a lot of integrations, including Thousand Eyes, Cisco Space, ICE itself, and ServiceNow, Splunk, and on and on and on. But let's see what it does. So basically, you've got your routers, your switches, your wireless APs, your WLCs, right? Now let's see what it looks like. So basically, Cisco DNA Center, you don't have to pay anything for it if you're using the virtual OVA file. So you have to have if you're buying, of course, the smartness support, that's another one. But basically, when you buy switches from Cisco, you get DNA Essentials or Advantage with it already. So you're already paying for them. So this is just the dashboard to access and get things done. Like in the Meraki world, you have the dashboard ready to go. But when it comes to the non-Meraki devices, the 9200, 9300, and so on and on, including your access points, wireless controllers, and so on, the way to go is the Catalyst Center, and it's amazing. As we can see, if you see here, I'm clicking on the menu here. So the main informational page here for me is the assurance. Okay, in the assurance dashboard, there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna just have a quick peek at health. And let's see, first of all, we can say customize what I want to see. I want to see, I can click and say, hey, I want to see a specific site in Asia, on here or there, or I want to see everything. And then I can mention, the hours I'm interested in. So basically now I can see, if you look at the routers, core router, distribution and access switches, and wireless controller access point. It shows me everything there. It shows me the number of wired and wireless clients and their health. It shows me my network services, DNS, DCP, on and on. It shows me the site analytics, onboarding duration, connection speed, and so on. And it shows me the top 10 issues. So one of the beautiful things about this one, let's say global. Yeah, so one of the beautiful things about this one is that you can integrate this with your ServiceNow, and then it automatically generates tickets with the outputs, with the show commands. So if there's, let's say there's a port, there's an issue with the port, you can enable. So it automatically says show run this, show interface this, and then it with the output automatically creates a ticket for you in the ServiceNow. So when the IT guy, or the technician, when the support person is looking at it, he has already all the information. He doesn't have to go log into the switch and run those show commands. So now you can see here the top 10 issues. It mentions, hey, I've got P1s, P2s, and so on and on. So if I, let's say, click on layer 2 loop symptoms, right? It tells me that, hey, this is an open issue. It's not resolved so far. And then this is in building 1, floor 1, distribution. And this is, I can just further click on the detail. Now I can see that it tells me the device name, the role, the time, the date, the location, and then initial assessment is maybe there's VLANs in the potential VLANs in the potential loop, and ports in the potential loop. These are the common, like the initial assessment. But the good thing is there's a problem details here, which mentions that what interfaces are involved in it and what switches are involved. So what I can do is I can go ahead and ask this to do the root cause analysis. So this is machine reasoning engine. So this has been trained with the Cisco TAC support information, right? So if I click on that, it is going to run, I'm going to ask to run that machine reasoning engine, the MRE, and then it runs everything. And then it tells me that, hey, I run the commands, and now to me, it seems that a loop is detected on VLAN 192. It includes all the interfaces and so on and on. And then suggested action is that enable VLAN 192's TP instance on these devices, and so on. So you can see how much it helps. But the most beautiful thing on this one is that it knows specific issues. For example, if I go here to the issue settings, or is that, let's say, go to the settings, and let's go to the issue settings, right? We don't have to wait for the AP to go down. You don't have to wait for switch to go down. Look, if it's got specific categories already there, let's say about onboarding. So you see, it automatically creates these P2 tickets, P3 tickets, excessive time to get associated. High deviation from baseline. If it takes so much time, it will automatically create one, right? As you can see here, excessive failure to connect, it will create a ticket. Let's make it like okay. So wireless client failed to roam, roaming failed. A P3 is going to be created, right? I can say, what about a router, for example? It says in the router, I will create a P1 if the interface connected network device is down, one is down. Let's say fabric device connectivity is down, router unreachable, BGP tunnel, and so on and on. Layer 2 loop symptoms, right? So they're pre-trained on the connected interfaces. These are there. You see, like high utilization and so on and on. This is very, very beautiful. So you can categorize it that what it understands in terms of controllers, access points, wired clients, right? And the wire access points, you see, the radio 2.4 is down. Can you create a P2 automatically? And third parties are also going to be shown here. But basic information, the non-Cisco ones. So you can even create your own. If there's something not there, you can create that, and you can mention the severity, syslog, and so on and on and on. Okay, so why am I talking about DNS Center? So DNS Center, the beautiful thing about DNS Center is that you get it integrated with Cisco ICE, and then you have a lovely life. How? If you look at Cisco DNS Center, there's what we call the Explore roadmap. You can use DNS Center for AI operations. So it helps you, with the health dashboard, we call end-to-end visibility, health dashboard, 360 views, wireless maps, right? That's about end-to-end visibility. And then about insights and actions, it helps you out with the issues dashboard, in intelligent capture, in AI, network analytics, and so on, and radio resource management, and so on. If you can see here on the other side, on the observability section, it helps you with all of these location services, POE analytics, how much POE is used. That is just, the AI ops use of this DNS center. And then we have got the NetOps, right? In the NetOps, you can start with onboarding, right? So with the onboarding, network discovery of these switches, device configuration, plug and play, zero touch, provisioning, and so on, PnP Connect, all are supported. Reporting compliance is there. Generate network reports and configuration compliance, security advisories, see field notices, image repository, and back notice, and so on. And you see the network change. It integrates with IPAM. It does a lot of good stuff. And when it comes to DevOps, DevOps stuff is there. But let me show you why I came here. The SecOps. So you already have, if you have ICE there, and you have got Cisco switches, and you're adding DNS center, then you're in great shape. Now that gives you SD access, zero trust workplace. For SD access, all you need to do is just add this DNS center, and you're good to go. If you have ICE. Now, as you can see here, the micro segmentation is taken care. The macro segmentation is taken care, right? The VXLAN, the L2 virtual network, the L3 virtual networks. So because you guys are technical on the other side, I'm not going to explain much there. And the micro, you see the policy discovery, creation, assurance is going to be there. If you can see the endpoint visibility, the endpoint discovery, labeling, profiling, and grouping is going to be done there. And in terms of the you see threat discovery, you have got the secure network analytics there. It is integrated. Then what happens is that it does endpoint spoofing. When there's endpoint spoofing on the interface, right, or open port vulnerabilities, or credential vulnerabilities, and so on and on, it automatically detects it, and then you can contain it, right? Everything is automatic. And network fabric, everything is supported. Layer 3 access, routed, layer 2 switch access, and wireless network fabric. So it's such a nice thing. So now you see that in case that we have ICE. So that now what that means? What it means is right now, what I can do is if I can go to the policy here, you see, I can go to the group-based access control, as long as zero trust is concerned, right? So I can go here and I can look at my policies. As easy as that. All I need to do is say, hey, the auditors is right now allowed to, to just access contractors, right? Yeah, that is GT, that tagging that you have done. So all you have to do is just click, and then you can say enabled, all right? And then you can change that, you can set to default policy. You can change the contract and say deny, allow, whatever you want to do. And it automatically gets that done through ICE, right? So when you have endpoint analytics, right, it automatically, when it sees, abnormal behavior, it's going to stop that port. So this is how beautiful this is. So you have got everything here. It's very easy to do, eh? You have got your security groups, you've got our access contracts, just normal contracts, right? So there's a lot of good stuff that you can do in terms of the provisioning. A lot of features, easy to do that, right? Workflows, ready to go workflows for connectivity changes. All you have to do is answer, and it's going to create the commands for you. What else? It's got a lot. It's just a huge topic that we can talk about, a few hours. So I have implemented DNS Center. I have implemented the integration with this. I have integrated the secure network analytics. So it's a very lovely one. And because this is not the time for this one, I'm gonna just get out of this one, but you can simply see that it offers a lot more. Let me go to assurance. Come on. Okay, let's go to assurance and let's go to the health. And so this was your one view, right? So you could simply see top issues, and then you have the network, right? With a click of a button, you can see what is happening on your network, your routers and switches, total EPs up, down, and you can just see devices, poor connection, good connection, bad connection, one link utilization, all the good stuff. And then when it comes to the client 360, you can see the wired clients, the wireless clients, onboarding times, all the good stuff that you need for diagnosis and troubleshooting. And then you can check out network services that you have. You can see the applications as if you have got 1,000 ICE installed and integrated. So then you can see what has happened. You can see the network from the perspective of those applications. Like how does, those applications, how does WebEx see the network? How much bandwidth it gets, and so on and on and on, right? And all these protocols being used. SD access, AI analytics, doing this, side-by-side comparison of normal behavior versus, the changes and trends and things like that. There's a lot going on. So yes, just wanted to mention that there's a good use case of integration of ICE with DNS Center, and I am very well versed in that. And yeah, let me go to the next one.
All right, so let's quickly talk about the next component, which are the FDDs, ASAs, and FMCs, and Cisco Defense Orchestrator, and then a little bit about the SCC, or Cisco Security Cloud Control. Well, to get it started, I just want to quickly start with actually the security box. So basically, we have security boxes like devices or firewalls in two different modes. One has got the image, which we call the threat defense image, which is the new one, and the other one has got the ASA image, right? And then we have got a virtual format as well that can run all these platforms: AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, Hyperflex, Nutanix, and so on and on. So to make it clear, let's pick up something. For example, in this case I picked up the Firepower 41,000, right? 4100 series. So as we can see here, this is installed starting model is FPR 4112, and then it has on chassis built-in 8 ports SFP plus, but we can add a lot of these ports. Right? If I go down, I can show you that these are the uplinks that we can add. Can be 200 and so on, but that's not a discussion for today. The discussion is, okay, so if I want to have this one, how am I going to have it? I'm going to start.
All right, now let's jump in, talk about it. FDD, ASA, FMC, CDO, and SCC. Well, first of all, we're discussing the firewalls, right, and the ways to manage the firewall. So if I can go down a little bit, let's just start here, easier. So where we start, first of all, we have got these firewalls, and Cisco has got these firewalls in two different modes. Number one is the latest one, which is with the FDD software image, firewall threat defense. And then on the other side, as you can see, we have the same firewalls with the ASA image. And now there are different models, right? You can see the 1000 series. There is 1200, which is a totally new one, which has got desktop series and rack mount series and things like that. And we have got 2100 series, and Cisco is no more interested to sell this series, kind of going end of life in the entire series. And then we have got, of course, the ISA 3000 for your industrial control environments, right? The 2100, we normally use it for the internet edge DC environments. And then, as you can see, the 3100 series. These support from 10 gigabits per second to 45 gigabits per second, so they are for internet edge and DC environments. It supports VPN crypto with the hardware accelerators and things like that. And then we got the 4200 series, which gives you from 50 to 200 Gbps. And then this is for the internet edge DC, and it's very high performance, right? And then finally, 9300 series between 55 and 190 gigabits per second, and these are of course for the service providers, data centers, and It's got a lot more like DDoS, mitigation capabilities, and then it even supports 1.2 terabytes of cluster throughput. So these are the models. 1000 series, yeah, 890 to 5.3 Gbps. The 3100 series is interesting, yeah, the 10 GB to 45 Gbps, so on. Okay, so a little bit update on them. Now that being said, so when you've got two different, as I said, the types. To kind of clarify this, let's say we want to order that, right? Let's say we decide to go with either of these. Because right now I want to be talking about the features that I am well versed in and I've done the configuration. So if you go towards that, that's going to be your, here we go. So it basically has got the essentials license, IPS license, malware, and URL. By default, it's got essentials license, but which one? Well, that is the FTD image. So to kind of clarify this, let's assume that we want to go with the 4100 series and the starting model is 4112, right? So this is the model that I'm interested in. So I can, for example, if I can show a little bit of the data sheet, this is the good one. All right, 4100 series, and it's got different models, 4112, 4115, 25, 45, and so on. By default, it's got 8-port SFP plus on chassis. No worries. If you need more ports, we got it. Let's say it supports 200 gigs, QSFP28, 8, 10 gig, and so on and on. But that's not the point of discussion. The point of discussion is, let's say we want to order it. So if you want to order it, let me just go to my Cisco ordering portal. Let's say if this is from Cisco directly, and if I'm just adding this model, if FPR 4112, I have got the ASA version. Let me copy that, add it. This is the estimated this list price. When we get it from we buy it, we get more discounts, but this is like without any discounts, right? On 125. And at the same time, we have the same, but I'm going to change from ASA version to the NGFW, which means next generation firewall. All right. So this is the refurbished one, but this is the new one. I'm going to add it. So far, new prices. We know that the ASA version has got the CLI, and this bad boy has got a lot more, like the subscriptions for threat defense, malware, URL filtering, and so on. So with the first one, it's 125. Let me edit that one and make sure this is a valid one. So let's say, for the sake of this example, go to United States. Okay. Do you need more chassis? No. Power cables is selected. I'm not gonna add anything extra here. Network module slot we can add it, but not required. The only thing I just want to make sure is here, redundant power supply for right now, not required. So as we get some licenses here, let me see what I am missing in here. So ISSD slots there, fine. Okay, software is there, no problem. Yeah, okay, there we go. So all good so far. We don't need extra modules, that's fine. Okay, so my total price, let's see, do we have a SmartNet on this one? Let's go and check. Okay, so we have got the solution support con S&D. Okay, we've got the solution support on this one for 12 months by default, which is okay, which is fine with me. All right, SMTC solution support, good. And we're paying 12,500 something for that. Now it's time to configure the next one. And the next one, next generation firewall, you guys can see if I go ahead and say edit next generation firewall, and now the first thing I see is that I get subscriptions. Hey, tell me, what do you need? By default, we're going to give you the TMC, which is threat defense, malware, and URL licenses. Like, what is that? Well, there we go. With the threat or the IPS, you get intrusion detection prevention, you get file control, you got security intelligence like Talus, you got EVE, right? and you get TLS 1.2 decrypt. I'm going to explain EVE shortly. It's just mentioned here as well. Encrypted visibility engine. We can do labs on it. So, but any of these videos that I sent you is just I'm showing you overall general stuff, but you can request any specific topic and I will be able to create a lab and demo for you on that specific topic. Let's say you want to see more on the malware defense or the EVE, just let me know. Okay. So it's there, and then it is TMC now. It's got threat, defense, malware, and URL. What about malware? What is in the malware? Malware defense, malware analytics, and file storage. And in the URL filtering, you get this category and repetition-based URL filtering. So in this case, the TMC has got everything. But if I go here, this is the TC, which is threat defense and URL, right? No malware. And if I go down, it's TM, which means threat defense and malware license only, and then T, which is threat defense, and then exclude the subscription. I don't need anything. Okay, so let's go with the TMC for right now. TMC, and the duration would be 1 year. Select that. What else do I need to do? Extended logging and analytics. We can select that because it creates a lot of logs. So the platform to manage this one is called FMC. That has got limits. I mean, you can have option of virtual FMC to manage your firewalls, but even the virtual FMC does not allow you to grow the logging database as much as you want. It is limit 250 and 500 and so on and on. So that's why people go with the cloud logging, and then that's 30 days of unlimited logging, something like that. So cloud logging with 90 days storage if you want that. Oh my God, I think we should be quickly speaking here. So here we go. Let's go back here. So first of all, we said that there are two different types. Number one is ASA image, which is on the right side. And for this one, it has an on-box management called ASDM, Adaptive Security Device Manager, a very common one. But if you pick with the FTD, then the on-box device management graphical is called FDM, or Firewall Device, right? That being said, but if you want to manage like 100 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and so on, in that case, you gotta get centralized management. There's two ways: CSM, Cisco Security Manager for the ASA based ones, and the FMC, Cisco calls it Secure FMC, which is for the FDM devices. So I've got, let's say, 4 virtual firewalls or 10 firewalls, mix of virtual and physical. I need FMC to centrally manage them, which I'm gonna quickly show you a demo on that as well. Okay, so this FMC that you have you can have it on premise, on your virtual environment, and these are supported, as you can see, and this can be also cloud-based. Okay, cloud-based FMC is called CDO, Cisco Defense Orchestrator. So that means that you're gonna log into the cloud, and from there you're gonna manage all of your firewalls. So in that case, the good thing about CDO is that this one manages any type of the firewall. So with the CDO on the cloud, you can manage the FTD based firewalls, you can manage the ASA based firewalls, you can even manage some more, which is the security groups, that you have on the security group that you have on, let's say, AWS, which functions as firewalls on the cloud. Even those can be managed. Well, the new update is that Cisco even replaced that, renamed that, and says, hey, no more CDO. I have a new product, and the name is called Security Cloud Control. And inside Security Cloud Control, you have got everything. So you have got now everything CDO. You can call it CDO is inside this. You can manage your ASAs, your firewalls, you can even your Meraki MX firewalls, iOS devices, Umbrella, and some other stuff coming into this as well, secure access and multi-cloud defense. We have a demo on multi-cloud defense as well that I can show you, how this protects our workloads in the cloud and what happens in the cloud. A few different things it can do. And I have a demo quickly that I will show you here. Probably I have got something for the FMC here that I'm going to show you what is FMC and how it works and things you can do with the FMC. And then I have got probably this, exactly, the security cloud control as well. And in here, I will show you that, from this one, which used to be called CDO. Now this is called Security Cloud Control. A lot of renamings, a lot of additions. And then you can see here I can manage my all types of ASAV, branch 1, FTD, branch 1, and so on and on. I can see them all. So by clicking here, I can connect to them, configure them, and so on and on. Yeah, I'm coming back to that quick demo shortly. Yes. So this portal was here. I think I created, like, this is the portal for the FMC, and that's the portal for the CDO, which is now renamed to the SCC, Security Cloud Control. Okay. Going back. Okay, so going back to where we were. So if you want this firewall to be managed by the CDO, all right, and then you can go ahead and say, hey, I want this firewall to be managed not by the FMC, but on the cloud. So I want you to, let's say you already have got the CDO running, you have got more devices, just buying this new firewall. So go to the CDO and say, add it, please. And then for how long, the management, let's say for 12 months or 1 year. Okay, you see there's a cost to it. All right, do you need anything else on this side? Radon power supplies? No SFP, no modules, no nothing, no nothing. All good. And so far, let's go to the power cables. Select our power cable, is fine. And then there we go, done. I have added that one. Modules, SFP plus or SFP 28, nothing like that required. So fine. So right now you can see the same device, 4112 at 125,000, right? And then the same device with next generation firewall is at 186,000. Okay, so that's the ways to when you're selecting it. Those are I wanted to kind of more clarify that. Okay, now let's go back here. So I have configured. Okay, so base license is ESS or Essentials. Of course, routing, switching, basically DCP, NAT, and HA, clustering, and all that is the basic function included in it. So now basically the latest generation is the FTD. We're talking FTD now. Okay. I have worked in ASA even from 515E series back in the year, what was it, 2004. I was using them. Yeah. So yeah, that's okay. ASAV is easy to go. Let's talk about FTD. So in FTDs, I have used all of these feature sets, and I'm very comfortable configuring all these. And so as we know now, the standard features include the traditional firewall functions like stateful port, protocol inspection, NAT, and so on and on. And now some new feature sets they have added in the FTD series, which is application visibility and control. I can practically show you all that. It's easy to do. And then geolocation is there also as well, as we're controlling the traffic based on source, destination, country, and continent. We can see that. NGIPS is there, which is a very nice one. But that being said, that is coming part of the IPS license, which is threat defense here, threat. So if now I open my, both of them, if I can open my ASA, you can see inside the components, I am paying for some solution support. But this is the main thing for me, that this is the software, right, which is 9.18 and .4. Which is for the ASA one image, and the rest of them are not that important ones to be explained. But going down here, but I mean I know one by one, like inside what is this and what's that, what is this and what's that. So I'm just saving your time. But for the next generation firewall, you can see here we are paying for the support. We are paying a lot of money for what? For threat defense, which is T, which you're going to see it as IPS here. Okay. And then malware, you're going to see it as mal here. And then URL license, right, which is going to see the URL over here. So yeah, so you're paying that extra money, 58,000 for 1 year. Yes. And what else? Then yeah, and this is the main image for you, the FTD image, right? So this one you're getting the 7.2.5. This is a different image. That being said, do we have the same type of support on both of them, 12 months, or is it different? So it's yes, 1 year. Yeah, and there's all these types of the let's see here, maybe 12 months. Yeah, so we've got all same types of the support, but we can change all these different support types. I know 85% of them, you know, that is very common. Yeah, 85%. Yeah, next business day, like 8 and 5 and 4 and on-site and blah 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 and so on. So I'm not going to waste a lot of your time on this one. But that being said, yes, so we're good to go with the configuration of the IPS. That includes impact flags, that includes the EVE, which is very nice feature of encrypted visibility engine. You can, even the traffic is detected, you know, by looking at some hello signatures, you can still find out what's going on. And I'm going to practically show a little bit where EVE is detected. And malware defense for networks. Yes, is a yes to this as well, and URLs, of course, yes. So I'm well versed in this area. So let me quickly show you a little bit what it looks like. So when you come to the FMC, the good thing is that this FMC has a great dashboard. We start, let's say, with the network summary, but we can always switch dashboard and click here and it says, hey, do you want me to go to the files dashboard? Do you want me to go to detail dashboard, connection summary, blah blah blah? Okay, summary is fine for now, but we can see here, if I let me see, are we okay? Yeah, okay, so we can see here this is unique applications over time. Let's see, is it 1 day here, the filtering? Yes, okay, fine. Top web application seen, these are the applications, how much total bytes. Top client applications. Now if I don't like this, I can click in here, you know, and just I don't want to see it anymore. And then have top servers application, as you can see, top server application seen as this one. And then I can see risky applications with so on and on. You see, these are the risky applications, BitTorrent, Facebook, and so on. Okay, find connections by your reputation. So as you can see, unknown, favorable, trusted, neutral, and so on and on. I can click on any one of them and I can go and deep dive inside. Then here is a top client application seen. Okay, nice. I can also add my widgets myself. This is a top operating system that you see how many of what do you have. Of course, there are some integrations here. Traffic by user, we can see who has got how much traffic, and this is where we can see is connection by URL. And then there we go, traffic by application address, traffic by business relevance, traffic by application category, and so on. But if I go to the threads, yeah, so to the threads I can see indication of compromise, right? Oh my god, IOCs, right? Indication of compromise by user, indication of compromise by IP, connection by security intelligence. You can see the traffic by security intelligence category. You can see intrusion events, malware, threats, and so on. The interesting would be just, let's see what are the 5 happening here on this IP address. So if I click on that first computer, now it tells me, oh my god, a lot of things are seen. Like, what is happening? It says that I see some stuff going on here, and the number 1 is your here encrypted visibility engine, EVE. I see there's an activity encrypted, but I can tell you that that's probably a malware communication, you know. So it's that nice. So table of host indicators. Let's see, host indicators detail. Let me first of all go back to the I had to click in here quickly so that I could see everything. Okay, so as we could see here, we were talking about suspicious activity is in the category suspicious activity, encrypted visibility engine. We got a malware communication going on, and then even it was encrypted, right? So you can see all that are details. And then also there's another one, malware detected, right? So threat detected in the file transfer, and the exploit kit is detected. So you can see intrusion event. You can see impact 1. We looked 4 types of impact 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Yeah, but if you are interested in anything specific, please let me know. I can just jump on that. So you see how nice is that? It tells me about the system application. It tells me about the host protocols. It tells me about the vulnerabilities and most recent malware detections and so on and on. Pretty nice, right? So what you see is based on the license that you have. So in this case, we could see that the first one is over your dashboard and so on. So it shows us, site-to-site VPN remote access SD1, and analysis is important one. You can see the file in the section of files. You can see that malware events and so on and on. And you see the section of the users and section of the hosts, right? And correlation and so on and on and on. And see the policies. I can create access, intrusion, malware, DNS, identity, decryption, and so on and on and on. And there's a lot going on here. So that being said, we can see the integrations here is normally. AMP is there. It's a very good one for the endpoint, making sure everything is good. And as you can see, the outputs are very interesting. Okay, so this is your FMC. Let's go ahead to the next one, which is your Security Cloud Control, or the CDO. Okay, so in this case, you can see it's a quite easy to do one. It's self-explanatory the same way. It's running on the cloud. So if I want to go to my FTD, just let's say if I'm clicking on my FTD, which is on my branch 1, I click on it, and on the right side you can see the details of that. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and go to the device overview, right? Routing, interfaces, so on and on, access control. But let's wait. There we go. Now you are inside the branch 1 FTD, easy to manage, right? So I can see the health, I can see the license is a V5, 100 Mbps is allowed, it's a virtual one, and then you can go ahead and see my CPU, so on and on. But these are the interfaces. I can start, seeing, okay, what is inside, what is outside interfaces, and so on and on and on, right? Okay. That is quite self-explanatory, right? So the same FTD, whatever you want to do with it. But if I have got, let's see, if I have another one image, or just the ASA image, let's quickly grab one of those. Yeah, let's go click on the V series. Here we can see ASA FTD, so on. So in the V series, we can go ahead and start whatever we want to do. Configuration, NAT, file management interfaces. Let's go and let's go to the objects. Look, these are the objects created. Let me go to the ASAV, stay here, and I can, for example, show you what is our NAT. Let's see our NAT settings. Okay, this is my NAT setting, whatever I have, inside, outside NAT, yes, no, whatsoever. If you're missing the ASA configuration, like the CLI, so let's click there to see what we got. Okay, yeah, there we go. All everyday stuff, interface, gig 00, name of inside, name of outside, DMZ, whatever you have, security levels, 150 and so on, IP addresses, okay, management. You see all the basic configuration, the objects that we create, everything is here, so I can download it and so on. Yeah, so basically it's the same thing, it's just in a graphical way. FMC has got, just to let you know, FMC has got more detail and more control versus Security Cloud Control or the CDO version. Yeah. But that being said, this is the two ways to manage it. And then the next thing that comes in is the multi-cloud defense. If I click on that, let's add it. And well, with a multi-cloud defense, we can do a lot. I'm gonna start that one in the next short session. So that being said, so it doesn't matter if you want to go with let's say any of these ones. Okay, let me see, where is my pen not working. Okay, let's go with the 4. Yeah, so if you it doesn't matter, like in this project, if we have the next generation one or the ASA version, or the management can be anything, like using the CDO, using FMC, or using the SCC or security cloud control, all the same, good to go. If you have any specific question on any specific configurations, there's a lot. This could be just this FMC, the firewall itself could be like over 8-10 hours video if we just deep dive into specific features and configure them. But if you're interested in any specific feature that you're looking at, just let me know, and I'll be able to create a lab point of proof of concept, POC, and then get it done for you. Yeah, so let's get ready for the next one. Well, I just wanted to end this video here, but I thought let me show you. If I go with every feature a little bit, this is going to be so long, right? So I better hear from you guys on a specific topic you're interested versus me going. Let's say if I talk about the EVE, the encrypted visibility engine. So this is a feature that allows insight into the encrypted communication processes, right? Without decrypting. And it is available with our Cisco Secure Firewall Threat Defense license, which is T, right? When we were picking up the license, and it provides a very good capability in the threat detection toolbox, which is very nice. And so what happens is that the main point is that encryption technologies like the TLS or transport layer security presents a challenge to the older technologies, like the traditional deep packet inspection technologies. Because what TLS enabled, the problem for us is that now the bad guys do bad things, so we cannot see it. So this the one of the problems, like the inability to inspect the packet payload for encrypted traffic, means that the key firewall capabilities are not available anymore. And maybe also decrypting traffic for inspection is also resource intensive, right? Another problem. And then enabling this kind of decryption significantly reduces the throughput, right? You all know that. And other like privacy and compliance issues for certain type of traffic. So now how EVE helps actually. So EVE is just a new means of identifying the client application and process using TLS encryption. So it gives us, or it enables the visibility and allows us to take action and enforce policy within our environment. And the way it does is that EVE works with actually by fingerprinting the hello packet. So it does fingerprinting of the client hello packet in the TLS handshake by identifying specific application fingerprints in the TLS session establishment. So the system can identify the client process and take appropriate action. We can go so deep, like how it still does it, but it's going to be too much deep. Let me practically show you how it's done. First of all, the first thing that we need to make sure is that this is enabled. So, and that means that if we go to the policies and go to the access control, let's change the first one, which is our policy. Click on it to edit it. So it should be hidden somewhere. So as well, the nice thing here, as you can see here, the capability of the firewall, you can see that you can monitor the traffic. You can do it based on geo controls, right? You can flag those countries and stop the communication. You can do it based on users and groups, that you can see, hey, if A goes anywhere, if it is from this specific Active Directory group and wants to go there, allow it or deny it, things like that. And you can see the port controls, you can see URL filtering, bad reputation, good reputation, and app reputation. You can see app content controls and so on and on. So, but let's focus back on the EVE. So in this case, let me just go ahead and my default inspect rule that I have, let me just click here. So I should have not forgotten to tell you that. On the applications, we can specifically even filter, let's say Facebook, and we can say just filter Facebook chats, Facebook comments, specifically Facebook games, and so on and on. But that's what we do not need. In this case, our goal is that between these zones, inside and outside, as you can see here, inside and outside, our goal is to go and find a tag, and that tag is called the encrypted visibility engine, EVE. So that being said, and add it, it's there, okay, and then analyze it and see if there is conflicts. There's no conflicts, all good, okay, thank you, and then save it, and then yeah, did we make sure it's enabled first? So basically, if we go to more advanced settings, if you don't have that option, it is right here at the very end. It is enabled, right? So EVE, encrypted visibility engine, use EV for application detection, block traffic based on EV score, and so on and on. So every other setting is here, but okay, that's the main thing. We got it right. So now let's go back to our dashboard, and then in the dashboard, it's giving me all the good dashboard, but my point would be, let's go and switch. Give me application statistics, and then last one, encrypted visibility engine. There we go. So this is the dashboard for that. We can make changes, of course, add widgets and so on, but we can see what is happening. There's 814, and we can see the details, what is happening, what happened, allowed, denied, what happened from what country, what was the point, and all the details here. All right, and so what specific firewall was this, blocked it or did it or whatever, things like that. So yeah, there we go. It's a little bit yeah, this kind of, so every topic, we can just talk on the EVE just for 2 hours, believe me. So every feature is so huge, but I'm just trying to kind of let you guys see, hey, these are the feature sets, and we're good to go with this and that, and let me know what I can help with and kind of make things easier for all of us. Yeah, thank you. Hope it helps. All right, it's time to talk about multi-cloud defense. Okay, multi-cloud defense, so what is it all about? Well, first of all, let's go ahead and we are inside the security cloud control, previously CDO, but now a lot more. And we see inside it, there's multi-cloud defense. So I'm going to click here. And now there is another one on the top right, which says, hey, I am giving you visibility right now that you have got AWS Cloud, One, Azure, GCP, no Oracle, total 3 accounts, and 36 VPCs, 59 security groups, 46 route tables, 97 subnets, instances 33, load balancers 8, applications 8, right? So this is the summary of that, enable traffic visibility, multi-cloud, blah, 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 here's the stuff. But if you want to go inside it, click here, multi-cloud defense controller. Let's go ahead. All right, so welcome to the multi-cloud defense. Formerly, it was called Valtex, if you guys remember. So that being said, what is it? What does it do? Well, basically, it's the definition for this is commonly said as that it delivers kind of multi-directional protection with the use of ingress, egress, and east and west security. And it's just like a single dynamic policy. The solution blocks like your inbound attacks. It mitigates lateral threat movement and helps stop data exfiltration across your public clouds and workloads. Yeah, so that's what it does. Basically, what it, like, if you ask me about this solution, everything is actually done by the security groups that you have on those your cloud providers, Azure, AWS, whatever it is. But it's kind of, if you have got like multiple clouds, then it's easy to unify control and protection of your public cloud environment, and ensuring that consistent security policies across your AWS, Azure, GCP, whatever Oracle providers you have, something like that. So so this is, let me see, what do I have up there? This is a short note, which is very nice. As we can see, there we go. It stops to inbound threats, block command and control, data exfiltration, and prevents lateral movement with multi-cloud with multi-directional protection, and then deeply understands network behavior, surgically place security controls, leveraging continuous asset discovery, save time, and so on. But end of the day, let's understand it a better way. So first of all, when we talk about multi-directional protection, what it is? What is it? Well, multi-directional, it says, well, number one, ingress security. It stops inbound threats for web and non-web apps. To kind of make it more clear, in the ingress, actually an application runs in a virtual private cloud, or VPC, that's what we call, right? So traffic enters the VPC from outside, from internet into the VPC. So an ingress gateway is deployed to protect the application from external users. And in the ingress security, when we talk, it protects inbound traffic and provides security capabilities like web application firewall, or we call it WAF sometimes, IDS IPS, layer 7 protection, DOS protection, what else is there? Antivirus, reverse proxy, and TLS decryption. So this is all about your ingress security. I should not forget to say that there are two deployment modes. In the very beginning, I should have said that. And it's one is centralized security model, and the other one is a distributed security model. All right. So so at this point, now when we talk about the egress security, it blocks command and control, botnets, and data exfiltration, right? So what is egress, right? What happens? What do we mean by egress? So instances or applications that require communication with the external world. So to protect or control these clients from egressing traffic to the internet, it is actually necessary to restrict communication only with certain websites or approved security code repositories. And actually in the egress security, when we talk about it, the egress gateway provides security capabilities like FQDN filtering, URL filtering, data loss prevention or DLP, IPS IDS, antivirus, what is next? Forward proxy and TLS decryption. Yeah. And then we talk about the east and west security, right? Yeah. So east and west security, of course, we know what it means. So it's just reduce blast radius and protect against ransomware by mitigating lateral movement, like from one to the other one. But that being said, so we talked about ingress, we talked about egress, and we talk about edge. So as I said, there are two modes. One is called centralized mode or hub mode, and the other one is edge mode, right? So the gateways, egress and ingress, right, can be deployed in edge or hub mode, in both modes. In the edge mode, what happens is that the gateway is deployed in the same VPC as the applications. So that means if you have 5 VPCs running applications, and then 5 gateways are deployed. And to tell you a little bit about the hub, The Secure Multicloud creates a new VPC called Service VPC and deploys gateways inside the Service VPC. All VPCs that are running applications and service. And in this case, the Service VPC containing gateways are connected as well. So Secure Multicloud manages the orchestration of the transit gateway and VPC attachments and the routing automatically. Yeah, so both are done that way. And we know about VPC itself, right? So don't need to worry about that part. For the segmentation and the east and west, as we mentioned, is just the main reason for that is just to mitigate your lateral movement, right? And also the segmentation provides security capabilities such as cloud native identity, IDS, IPS, and antivirus, things like that. And then the feature URL and FQDN filtering prevents exfiltration and attacks that use command and control and enforce URL FQDN based filtering in a centralized or distributed deployment model. So why do I talk about that? Because it has got two packages if you want to use it. And number one is called the Advantage. The other one is called the Premier. And you can see what are the features available under each. See that? Okay. So let's go back to the multi-cloud defense. So this is the dashboard. You can see showing us the cloud accounts that we have and the account resources that we have. It tells us about our DNS traffic. It tells us about the VPCs, VNets, and so on. CSP services. Security considerations. So basically, you see the threats as well. Top countries by threat and then exfiltration attempts. Well, very beautiful thing on this one is the reports. If you click on the reports, let's say if we go, just create a weekly and then let's say generate the report. So we can see that it gives us a very nice report, and in that report you can see that it is summarizing the behavior analytics for us. The ingress traffic is 2.66 and this much bytes and packets and so on, and egress traffic is this much, east-west traffic is this much, and this is happening, geolocation, and we got, inbound traffic is traveling from 109 sources or source countries, and outbound traffic is from 18 destinations, all public, and this and that, and every little detail is here. And these are the threads. There are this much public IP addresses communicating inbound to 10 instances for a total of this one, and so on and on. And these are the mitigations that it is telling you, right? A layer 4 firewall filter traffic based on the IP address and port numbers and protocols. It provides basic file security control and blah 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 blah. It gives me all this stuff, and it gives me a little nice screenshot saying that this is network traffic, this is network traffic for packets, events, and egress. You see that ingress account summary of what is happening, and then egress and geography, top source countries, and so on and on and on and on and on. All right. So that being said, here is if I click here was insights and reports. You can see what is available inside insights and reports. You can see what is available in the events. We can click and see more. But let's go to our, what is that one? Let's go to our, okay, let's go inside. Now we're inside here, and what we're going to do is, this is the inventory, okay? Inside the inventory, we can see inventory summary, the ACLs, security groups, network interfaces, load balancers, DNS logs, and so on and on. What else we can see? We can see all the security groups and just more details. But what I'm interested in is to solve a problem, like what is happening in my cloud resources that I have. So the best way is to go to investigate, and under investigate you can see the traffic summary, you can see the firewall events, network threats, web protection, URL filtering, and so on and on. But interesting one here is to quickly look into the topology of what is happening. And in the topology, you see right away that, oh, there are 3 clouds, and then there are some red asking, you know, our attention. So if I click, let's say, these are, okay, let me show you this way. If I click, let's say, on the Azure, right, it's telling me the total traffic and malicious traffic. I doesn't see anything here, but you can see that in Virginia, yeah, US East 1 on AWS, I see something. So if I click on it, I am gonna wait. Let me show all the views. Okay. And then if I click so that I can see what's going on, you can see here that this is my VPC, right? And this VPC, then here you can see these are my subnets, and this is my one subnet, and this is my route table, and each one of these, you know, can be opened. These are the, you can see here, this is the applications. But I can see here that if I go, this is the red one, which is my subnet. In my subnet, what is this? This is an instance, and there are some red communications which says, hey, this instance is connected to known malicious IP address. It's recommended to create an attached security policy to this interface to prevent further security issues, right? So I can see those are the red with the United States and China and so on and on. All right, so and then if I want, I can go ahead, of course, I should do that. So I should go here and then create a policy and, you know, deny that, whatever that is supposed to be done. So a very good and easy way to look into what is happening. Yeah. It's like this to start with. When you go to the home, click on easy setup, so it tells you that it's very easy to set it up. All you have to do is connect your account, enable the traffic visibility, and secure your account, and there you go. You have these dashboards. And then if I click on the infrastructure, you can see that I can see my enforcements, I can see my gateways, and you see I have 4 gateways in this case, each one of them here named. All right, and the region is here. I can under policies, if I go with the infrastructure, so this is like I wanted you to see, guys, this one, see my gateways, my service VPCs, see my CSP accounts, you know, I can do packet capture, log forwarding, and so on, my network services like NTP, IPsec, and BGP, and so on and on. And then these are my policies, as you can see, profiles and policies, decryption, IPS, anti-malware, you know, WAF, and URL filtering, FQD, and so on and on and on and on and on. So according to the needs, you can just simply go ahead and do the configurations. So basically, if you have the Cisco Secure Workload configured, that gives you a very good flow, and it shows you what communicates where, what is required, what is not required. So from there, you can do restrictions, and this one is not mandatory one, yeah, but it's something very good to have with the features that it provides, but it costs a lot of money too. So let's quickly jump into how do we order this actually, yeah. Let's go do that. All right, so let's add that. So first, remember that this was part of the CDO or cloud, yeah. Cisco Defense Orchestrator, right? So let's go here. First of all we do is we're going to add CDO subscription. We're going to add that, and now inside the CDO security subscription, if we go here, so the CDO, it has added here the Cisco Multicloud Defense, right? And then it's got 2 packages, as I mentioned, the Advantage and the Premier. But just remember, this one we were using to add the firewalls on the list. So this is that one way to do that was to go inside a firewall and do it. The other way is we come in here. We should add must have a subscription, a tenant, all right, for the CDO itself, and then at least one. In this case, we are not using the second option, which is cloud management license with unlimited logging and 90 days retention. As you can see here, this is the 1000 series firewall, this is the 1200, and this is the 2K series, this is the 3K series and 4K. Remember, we had this 4112. In that case, I would have selected one, but this is not required right now. All we're doing is going to this last one, which is Cisco Multicloud Defense. And here, we're going to select our package, in our case, Premier. And then what about hours? So in this case, if you look at it, hours, it says that to calculate the gateway, the hour is just equals number of gateways. How many gateways do you have? How many clouds you're connected to? And then in that case, multiply by 24 and then 365 and so on. So that being said, we have got leap year and non-leap year. So at the end of the day, with leap year, it becomes 8,784. So I'm gonna add it here. 8,700. What was it? 84. 84 is in my calculator in my phone. 8,784. Okay, there we go. And then we have to add the security, the support. So the minimum I would recommend solution support, not basic online. Solution support is good enough. So let's go ahead and click here and add it here, right here, and then verify and save. Okay, enhanced support is recommended with the selection of multi-cloud defense. So, okay, if you are recommending that, let's go back. I can change that to the enhanced support, and then okay, trial, blah blah blah. Okay, all good. So how much am I paying? Right now I am paying $29,000 in a year for one cloud, right? For one gateway. If I have 10 gateways, that's 10. Okay, yeah. So that was pretty much it. So yeah, we can dive deep, of course, and work on the validated design guides by Cisco and recommendations, and then that's totally technical design discussion. But I just wanted to show you that this is what it is, and easy to work with, not problematic. End of the day, same story. Everything is done in your VPCs, in your security groups on your cloud. So yeah, I mean, this is not a mandatory one. You can have this as a good option, but it is causing us some costs too, extra. So if you are basically in one cloud and in the next one is your on-prem, you basically don't need. I mean, you can live without it for sure, definitely. All right, let's see what's next. Move on to the next one. All right, everybody, welcome to Cisco Secure Network Analytics. Nice. This demo, we're going to see what this is. So first of all, if you look into the dashboard, we see, concern index, target index, recon, CNC exploitation, DDoS target, data hoarding, exfiltration, policy violation, anomaly, everything. Here you can see what's happening. All right, see today's alarms, alarm by type, what is happening, alarm by host, flow collection trend, top applications, and then we can just go and see data hoarding. What is all that? What is data hoarding and who's doing it, right? We can see that what's happened with what every user has done, like AN, DH, RC. Okay, it is, you see the short for these, right? Data hoarding, DH. So are you doing data hoarding? What is data hoarding? Then we can see more detail on this user communicating, doing what, and we're gonna just dive deep into this. Okay, but before that, let's quickly understand what it is. Well, if you look at Cisco Secure Network Analytics, it's a very, very mandatory product to have in the Zero Trust environment. Why? Because as we can see that Cisco Secure Network Analytics collects and analyzes network data, right? To automatically detect threats that manage to infiltrate the perimeter, even if originated from within. That's the key. Security network analytics can quickly detect threats such as CNC attacks, ransomware, DDoS attacks, illicit crypto mining, unknown malware, as well as insider threats. And now we are seeing the benefits. Okay, but let's talk about a use case. Like what's the main use case for this? Number one is all about visibility everywhere. It analyzes enterprise telemetry from any source and provide end-to-end visibility across extended network, cloud, or with remote workers. Yeah, even remote workers. Number two, unique threat detection. How it happens? It's because of the combination of the multi-layer machine learning and behavioral modeling, which provides ability to detect inside and outside threats, both. Our friend, the third one, which is ETA, encrypted traffic analytics. Okay, everything is encrypted. Still, you want to know. So with this, we analyze encrypted traffic to detect malware and ensure policy compliance without decryption. And you know the technique from the previous demo. Number 4 use case is smart segmentation. We can use it, right? We can actually use logical business functional groups, and then we can monitor the effectiveness of segmentation policies through our contextual alarms. Very easy. Solution components are what is inside. There are multiple moving components. Some are very mandatory and some can be optional. The mandatory components are the manager, flow collector, flow rate license, and the optional ones can be the flow sensor, the endpoint license, the thread feed, and the UDP director, and ETA, which is the encrypted traffic analytics, and telemetry broker. So what the manager does, it's just the management console that collects and analyzes network data to deliver comprehensive visibility for different types of network, small, medium, large, whatever you have. And then flow collector leverages telemetry such as the net flow and IPFix and other types of flow data from routers, switches, firewalls, endpoints, and other network devices. Right? And then flow rate license is actually required to collect, manage, and analyze flow telemetry aggregated at the secure network analytics manager. These were the key ones. For the optional ones, flow sensor, So flow sensor is actually, it produces telemetry of a switching and routing infrastructure. Why? Because the ones that cannot generate net flow to identify applications protocols on the network. So that's why we use the flow sensors. Yeah. And the next one is endpoint license, very important. Why? Because it allows you to conduct in-depth context-rich investigations into endpoints that exhibit suspicious behavior. That's required if you want it good enough to be able to detect and understand, right? And a threat feed is a global. The feed is a global. It's actually a global threat intelligence feed, which is powered by Thales. It can be other sources too, to provide an additional layer of protection against botnets and other sophisticated attacks. The next one is the UDP director, which is central collector of flow data generated by flow-enabled devices. The next one is the ETA, which is encrypted traffic analytics, which analyzes encrypted traffic data elements and enhanced net flow by applying machine learning and statistical model, right? We know the trick. And last one is telemetry broker, which provide increased visibility into hybrid cloud environments, and an on-prem tool through AWS VPC flow lock translation to IPFix. Okay. All right. So let's get the lab done. Let me show you practically how we can use it. A few examples. Well, first of all, we can work on a lot of examples here, like every one of them here on the list. Let's see. Let's get started anyways. Okay, so first of all, as we can see, the first part was alarming hosts. We can see generally what's happening. Concern index, target index, recon, CNC, exploitation, DDoS, and so on and on, okay? Here are the top alarming hosts on the left side. the top alarming host, and each one you see is anomaly, and here I say recon. It says like concern index. This is like data hoarding, right? And this is like recon, data hoarding, and so on and on and on. So that is one part where we can stop alarming. Alarm by type. We can see this here by mentioning exactly like FTP to outside, mail rejects, or high total traffic, new flows initiated, high file sharing index, high concern index, and so on and on and on. Based on these categories, we can see it. Today's alarms, we see all these, like the target data hoarding is 1 here, anomaly is 1, suspect data hoarding another 2, and then so on and on and on, right? So we can specifically see and jump on a specific one. This is the flow collection trend. All right, how the flows collected. These are my top applications going on. So I've got different interfaces: investigate, report, configure. As you can see here, and under investigate, I can do flow search, show search, and so on and on and on. Under reports, I can create nice reports. I'll use some examples, and then under configure, we can do the configuration, right? So that being said, let's find something meaningful. Let's do this. So what I'm going to do is I want to see, well, like about the data hoarding, right? What is happening here? So I'm clicking on data hoarding, and data hoarding is the concept of somebody is grabbing information, putting it aside, is not taking it out yet. That's called exfiltration, right? It's not in that stage. Oh, so we see that data hoarding. Okay, so it's telling me that, hey, this is the IP address 10.201.023, and from all those, it's just DH right now. Okay, so host group, this belongs to that group of hosts, which is Atlanta data center and so on. Okay, it's fine. So I'm gonna say let's see what's happening in here. Let's go to the second one probably. Yeah. There we go. So we can see that this is now a specific, this is very specific to that computer, right? So right now, what you are seeing is, this is the host report on that 149. All right, so we are seeing that this is the traffic peer host group communication of this with all these groups, right? So we can see right and left where they're communicating. We can see here the status is active, and he is part of these host groups, end user devices, desktop, Atlanta, sales, so on and on and on. First seen, last seen, and the policies that's triggered is insider threat event, right? And then why is that? Because hoarding, right? The data hoarding is insider threat. From inside, you're trying to, you know, grab information and data and put it somewhere. Then you want to do the exfiltration as a later stage. And I can see other activities that's been done here by this user. I can see a port scan. I can see suspect data hoarding. I can see every little detail. But if I click on it, like why? Why wouldn't I say it's suspect data hoarding? Why? The detail says that we observe 2.2 gig bytes. We expect 0 bytes, tolerance of 0, allow up to 15 B. So we suspect data hoarding because the source host has downloaded an unusual amount of data from one or more hosts. Okay, so all right, and then down here we are seeing application traffic. All right. Okay, what I'm gonna do this time, I'm not gonna select a 149. Let me go back to the monitor and then dashboards. So if I go to this, who else is there? Yeah. So let's go to this one, to the first one. So as you see it, part of alarms, first active, host groups, source, multiple hosts, and observed 1.3 megabytes points, policy maximum is 100K point, and so on and on. Okay, so now what I can do is right now I can click on the details here. When I go to the details, it tells me that the security event is called suspect data hoarding, and how many times? 37 times. The concern index is this: first active, source host, source host group, target host, and so on and on, right? And if I open this up, there's more details that, hey, this is the what happened, and this is the description. All right, hey, this is what happened, and this is the description, right? So now that being said, from here we can click on actions and then go to the external lookup and then host report source IP. That is where we came last time, and then from here we can simply, if our ICE is active, of course, we can simply go ahead and click on edit and see the ICE policy. If it's not what we want, we can just simply contain it, select the policies contain, and through the ICE it's gonna get the MAC address and username and everything. All right, so that is how easy it is to see things. All right, so as the second, for example, the next good thing I can show you, for example, it would be, let's see how we can validate TrustSec policy based on observation. So that my ICE is given an issue right now, but assuming that our ICE is working well, all good, running. So how do we see if the policy is applied and enforced? So basically, Cisco Identity Service Engine deploys security policy across Cisco networks using TrustSec, and for intent-based networks through SD access, right? So let's kind of verify that. To do that, like the easy step here would be to go ahead and say, hey, give me some reports, so let's go back in here. So I'm going to click on reports and create a report builder, right? Report builder. And then I would say, give me new report. And then, right, so I'm asking for new report, and then what kind of report do you want? Do you want alarms, alerts? Let's go with TrustSec Analytics, and then okay, let's see, this one is giving me, not showing me the ingress policy matrix. Hold on, let's try with a newer version. So here all we have is click on report builder, and then from there we have got create new report, and then what do you want here is all the list you can see here that we can create, but we're gonna say TrustSec Analytics. All right, and then okay, for how long? Let's show me the last 7 days. ICE cluster, it says ICE cluster name is ICE TrustSec, and then the one that are enforced, right? So if I run it now, I have like easy to understand, right? What is yes, what is no, what is access. So author, auditors can access void, cameras, yes, no, and so on. And what else can I do? Yeah, I can always manage columns and say, hey, don't show me the guests, not important, and so on and on. Yes, yeah, but I'm just letting you know that my ICE has got an issue right now. So for that reason, you don't see it, but it's just easy to create this report, right? Traffic denied, and so on and on and on, the backend, and I could see that ICE issue. As you can see here, if I go back to the dashboard, I can show you that. Okay, let's not confuse you, it's fine. So if I click on that, one of these hosts, alarming host whatsoever, yeah, you can see that here, ICE policy, I can edit and say investigate quarantine. I can change that. Yeah, this is like behaving weird, you know. You see, last time it was not showing me this option, but now it's showing me that option. That being said, that is how this is done. Okay, and so that was all about reports, right? Yeah. What is next? All right, so this time we're looking at network diagrams. We can see that how the simplified visibility to investigate critical assets kind of help us out. So the objective is to create a map, and then once we have the map, we're going to see what's happening on that map, right? In terms of these investigations that we're doing. So that being said, let's go ahead and practically do it. Then it'll be pretty clear on what I mean. So I want to see the traffic between two different sites. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on investigate, and then I want to go flow search. So now the question is, what kind of flow do you want to search? So basically what I'm trying to do is I just want to see like the last 10 minutes communication from the host group. From where? Let's say from inside, apply, and then let's say to one of our other sites based on country. So in that case, let's go to outside host. Let's say Japan would be a better one. Okay, so let's go Asia. Is this in the Central Asia? No. Is it in the East Asia? Yes, there we go. So we're seeing that kind of traffic, right? From the inside to there. Last 10 minutes is okay for us right now. And then all we need to do is, yeah, let's go click on search. See what we get. Okay, so it's completed, and then 63 so far. Oh, there we go. Start, duration, subject IP address, subject port, subject host group, subject bytes, application, total bytes, peer IP address, peer port, and then peer host group, and so on and on. All right. So we are seeing, the communication going on between these, right? But what we're trying to find is what's going on, what is wrong. I can hear, go inside and see more information. But that's not the end goal. The end goal is to go to more and convert this to diagram, view diagram. And then it will show it to us in form of diagram. But we have to save it so that we can see the live traffic kind of view, right? Okay. Now, the next step for us is to say, you know what, save this diagram, please. You see, and now we are seeing what is happening, right, from the inside. So we are now seeing that in the Atlanta, we are seeing all these issues. High total traffic, right? High concern index, recon, data hoarding, right? Suspect data hoarding, and things like that, right? So it's very easy to see and ignore the green ones and work on the red ones. So that is a very useful way of finding out what's going on. And then of course we can go ahead and make some changes, see the traffic, see the packet rate, see the round trip time, right, in terms of the metric and so on, and save the changes and so on, right? That being said, hope this is kind of interesting. Yeah, but there's a lot more we can do. If I will just send an email with a list of all of the products that I can help with the demo and clarify any specific ask you have, including this. Yeah, that way we have something focused and specific. I would love to do that if that is what is going to help or require. All right, that's it for this one. Let's go to the next one. All right, so as mentioned, there are other security products Cisco sells that helps us out, and the most important thing is that we need to understand we need to understand and avoid double paying or getting two products which performs the same stuff. So because if you request, I can just create a demo on this and explain the features on them and how they are configured. So it's up to you, like design the CVDs, Cisco validated design, configuration, deployment, planning. Any question you have on any one of them, please feel free to ask me. Be happy to help out. But to just cut it short, save your time, I'm just going to talk a little bit about them, and then yeah, I will be waiting for your feedback if you're interested to know more on them. So one of the product is called one of the products is called Cisco Attack Surface Management. This is a very good one, and formerly it was called the Cisco Secure Cloud Insights. And as we can see, it provides comprehensive cyber asset visibility. It shows all of your objects and all of the clouds and all vulnerabilities that they have. So on relationship mapping across multi-cloud environments, Cisco Attack Surface Management is a cloud native solution that pulls data with multiple types and sources to associate them and build relationships that every security analyst requires when assessing an environment or investigating an attack surface. So Cisco Attack Surface Management analyzes the data types and cross-reference them to provide an easy-to-use cloud security posture management, right? And security dashboarding capabilities. So there we go. You can do more research on it. If you find it interesting, let me know. So we have Cisco Secure Cloud Analytics, right? As well. One is called Cisco Secure Network Analytics. This is called Cisco Secure Cloud Analytics, right? This is very common as well. So with this one, this one will show us that how it provides comprehensive network visibility and threat detection from campus, branch, data centers to the cloud, enabling advanced threat analytics across public and private clouds for traditional on-premise networks. As we can see that from Secure Cloud Analytics dashboard, and then it can use manage and customize alerts and explore the cloud models in AWS, Azure, GCP environment, where Secure Cloud Analytics leverage API and security features. So when we're doing the assessments, normally we get cloud defense, and instead of that, this is either this or that, or this one and Cisco Attack Surface Management. The good thing with Cisco Attack Surface Management is that you can add any framework and it exactly tell you what you're missing. So the compliance is very easy. A lot of differences here and there. But as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a lot of cloud instances, right? Tenants, different clouds, you can go even without multi-cloud defense. So basically, once you know your rules, you can just allow those specific rules. You don't have to, wait for the easiness of this to make it happen on all the clouds. But it's good to have. Yeah. The next discussion is the SASE itself, and as we know, SASE as the complete solution. The main function of the SASE is that it combines everything plus VPN and SD-WAN, right? So you can see the the core strengths are the security web gateway is WG that can be provided using Umbrella. We can see that firewall as a service is the next capability. Cloud delivered firewall CDFW. And the next one is the CASB, people call it, which is Cloud Access Security Broker. And ZTNA, we all know about the ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Access. And finally, the SD-WAN. So that being said, if we look at the Cisco solution in response to the core requirements, you can go with Cisco Secure Connect, which is a cloud-based blend of multiple products as in a cloud, so that you don't have to get it separately, subscription-based, available. As we can see, it connects remote users to company application with secure access to internet, trusted SaaS, and private applications. And then Duo MFA is pretty clear. The DNG using Duo, which is VPN-less connection. A reverse proxy allows users to securely connect on-premise website, web applications, and servers, RDP, and so on without VPN. You can use Meraki MX firewalls, which is awesome in terms of the SD1, easy to configure multiple sites with just the auto VPN function, things like that. 1000 ICE is for the visibility and monitoring stuff. Umbrella, as I mentioned, it does a lot. It has a lot of features. One of them is called the Umbrella SEG, Secure Internet Gateway. And RBI is part of that, where the execution is done on a remote browser. So if something happens, it's not happening on your computer. It's just a remote computer that you're executing, from there. So anything happens to that one, not your environment. So we have got the Viptela SD1, or we can use the Meraki, any of these options. And then a little less than this one, we have the SSE. And the SSE world, as we can see, the Cisco Secure Access Cloud Security SSE solution that provides seamless and secure end-user access to any application or port protocol, stuff like that. This offers ZTNA, SWG, Caspian, firewall service, in addition to multi-mode DLP, DNS security, RBI, sandboxing, threat intelligence. So these are the main features, FWS, ZTNA, so on and on and on, as you can see it. And yes, then Cisco has multiple packages. Cisco calls it Secure Internet Access, SIA, and then SPA. This is for the connectivity and essential advantage. And as you can see, Cisco is offering all of that bundle using using Cisco Secure Access. I can demo that, but there's a lot of stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that I have pointed them out, so that based on your specific request, I can focus more on them. Finally, Zero Trust Architecture Framework, amazing. So these are the main strengths in the Zero Trust: established trust, continuously verified trust, enforce trust-based access, and respond to change in trust. I'm not going to read everything here, it's pretty clear. A Cisco solution to that is, for the user and device security, Cisco Duo, Cisco Secure Endpoint. Secure Endpoint, there's a lot that to be done there. It needs a big demo. There's a lot of functions there too. Secure email, the vulnerability management product, on the network and cloud security, which is ICE, Umbrella, Secure Access, Secure Firewall, Secure Network Analytics that we saw, Cyber Vision, which takes care of your IoT as well. In application data security, you have Secure Workload, you have Isovalent, you have Hypershield. So Isovalent, you can take care of all the types of the Docker stuff. Yeah. Kubernetes. So it was so huge. I was kind of like where to focus on, but I tried my best to kind of go ahead over the key elements. So during the interview time, it was a very short time. But yes, each of these topics, we can dive deep as much as you want, and you can tell me, hey, I want the planning phase. I want you to go ahead work on the show me the design, show me proof of concept, show me these advanced features. How you exactly? Okay, let's say that I know that the firepower FTD supports ZTNA, so you can allow access to specific application without VPN. How can you do that? Practically show me. I can create a demo and show you. Whatever that worked for you guys. I hope it was helpful. And looking forward. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, so finally, I'm sharing this in an email as well. These are the most relevant Cisco security products. If you're interested in any one of them, please be specific and tell me what you want to see in them, or a specific function would be okay to create that environment. If you want me to set up a call, show it, I will do it. If you want me to just create video, I will do it. Yeah, so fluent. So yeah, certain, like you don't remember everything, so you have to do back and forth a little bit, you know. But at the end of the day, there will be no problem in any of these products, like based off the previous implementations and work that I've done. And when it comes to project management and documentation and so on, I'm very well versed in Microsoft Project. My previous projects, I've done all of these, and if you're interested, you can request any of these documents. I will just remove from my previous projects the name of people from there and the logo and so on. I can provide you that. So in the initiation and planning, business case, project proposal, project charter, statement of work, then the requirement documents, everything that you see here, right? I have prepared already, and I can prepare it again. Same for the execution, monitoring, and controlling. Everything that you see here. I want to like save your time reading it and not reading it. And then, yeah, as-built documentation, training material, lessons learned documentation, everything. I can provide you that. Operational procedures, very common, as you can see here. Policy review and update procedure, access request and approval workflow. So everything that you see here, right, just to save your time again. Easy to create, already created. So let me know if you need to take a sample for any one of them. For network diagrams, okay, bread and butter, right? Yeah. I have installed Microsoft Visio. It's always on my computer. Easy to create diagrams, high level, low level. And these are specific to the Zero Trust that I have noted them out. You can look into them. And when it comes to policy frameworks, right? You can see them all here. So you just let me know what you need and I can provide you a sample. All right, I think that's it. All right, now it's time to see if we want to do, if we want to buy Duo, how it works, what is the license procedure to get, and so on and on. Yeah, so we get Duo for MFA, for a lot more, VPN-less, remote access, so on. So let's go ahead and say, hey, I need Duo, and I have got Duo subscription. I can get Duo 10 pack, the hardware tokens and telephony and so on, and education subscription for educational institutions and so on. But let's focus on what we need right now. A Duo subscription. Hey, I need Duo subscription. Okay, fine. All right, so let's see how many we need. Let's go select options. All right, so hey, it says that we have got a few options for you. We've got Duo Essentials, which is $3 per user per month, and it gives you the MFA. It gives you the phishing resistant authentication, prevents attackers from bypassing MFA, including blah blah blah. A single sign-on allows users to log in, something like that. We all know what single sign-on is. All right, and passwords, also an option to do login passwordless, and trusted endpoints and things like that. And it supports integration with secure endpoint. Okay, fine. How many do you need? What about the next one? Advantage. Advantage is starting at $6. It's everything essentials plus device health check, confirms device security posture before granting access, and provides visibility into security health of devices trying to gain access. Risk-based authentication dynamically adjusts authentication requirements in real time based on risk signals. Right? Detection detects potential attack attempts in progress using machine learning with Duo Trust Monitor. Integration with Cisco Secure Endpoint to prevent infected devices from accessing resources. There we go. How nice are they? And the best of both worlds, or all worlds, is called the premier version, $9 per user per month. So what is here? VPN-less access, also known as DNG, Duo Network Gateway. Right? So you can have access private application hosts on-premise and multi-cloud environment. It supports internal web applications, HTTPS, SSH, RDP, SMB. Again, supports the integration with the Cisco Secure Endpoint to prevent all that. Very good. Okay, let's go with let's say with the premier version and say, hey, give me 100 or 1,000. Let's go with 1,000 users. Okay. All right, so 134,000 something. Okay, good. And then the next thing we need to select is, what about the terms? Well, in terms of the terms, normally it comes, most of the products Cisco comes with 36 automatically, but we have to double check and say, okay, right now I need a 12. But with 36 months, we always get better discounts. So yeah, okay, for right now, let's go 12 is fine. All right. That's fine. Is it prepaid? Is it annual billing? Okay, it's 12 months doesn't make sense, but if it is 36 months, then in that case we can go with annual billing, because we'll be paying like year by year, so not breaking the budget. All right. Okay, so let's go with this one, for example, and then all right, if you 12 months, it doesn't matter what you get, prepaid or billing, same, right? Okay, let's go and before saving the changes, we didn't select the support. Okay, so what about the service support? Now, in terms of the support, there we go. We got basic free support included if you want that by default, but we can give you solution support, which is 12.5% of your product list price. And Cisco support provides technical support 24/7 and includes, point of contact and blah, 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 blah. Here we go. And then we get enhanced support, which is 15% of your product list price. Here we go with enhanced equips customers with comprehensive toolkit, essential resources for onboarding Duo. Enhanced support provides all the capability of solution support plus onboarding guidance from Duo's customer success team, and so on and on. And premium Duo, support, premium care, we don't need that. Okay, so let's go with this, for example, for the first year, right? You can change it if you want. Okay, that being said, as an example, then let's go Cisco Talos Incident Response Team, right? The Talos. Now you can get a Talos Incident Response Team, small, medium, large. With small, you get that Cisco Talos Incident Response provides a full suite of proactive and emergency services to help you prepare, respond, and recover from cybersecurity breaches. And you can click here to know more. But if you add one, that's going to be providing you 40 hours of CTI per year. This is going to be 80, and this is going to be 120. Just in case, if we need that, we're going to add that. So that's for entire year, right? I don't think we need that. But anyways, for right now, let's go and say, okay, save the configuration. This is without discount, but normally, let's say if we get 40% discount here, you're going to see the total price for us, the cost would be 138 something. That's an example. Okay. So this was for the Duo. Now let's go to ordering the next one. All right, so now it's time to understand how to order what are the components of Umbrella, Cisco Umbrella. All right, so first of all, we need to understand that what Umbrella does, right? It offers DNS Essentials, which offers because DNS layer security blocks access to domains with malware, phishing, and bot, etc. It does application discovery, monitoring, blocking, and risk scoring, part of DNS Essentials, and then you can filter by domain or category. The next thing it does under SWG or Secure Gateway, it custom block allow list of domains, something like that. And then another roaming security and client support, user protection of corporate network with secure client. And then Windows, Mac, OS, iOS, blah, blah, blah support, right? And then the next one is under threat intelligence, continuously update the threat intelligence from Cisco Talos. And next is SIEM support, SIEM integration, yes, and so on and on and on. Okay, so if you need that one, you go with Essentials, and the next one is Advantage, right? So you can see, you can pause and read it for yourself just to save time. And then we have got SIG Essentials and SIG Advantage. That's the main thing. All right. So, and now if I go ahead and kind of click on Umbrella packages, even on the website, you can see we've got DNS Essentials, you got DNS Advantage, you got SIG Essentials, and SIG Advantage. So the best one right now, it seems to be like the SIG Advantage right now. But everything is sold also with another name, which is called SA Essentials and SA Advantage, right? So in this case, when I say, what is SA? Secure access. We sell it as secure access as well. So let's first of all go ahead to the normal way, Umbrella. Let's go do the Umbrella. I am gonna go here and say, hey, give me Umbrella. So what is my SQ? Umbrella Security SAP, right? So I'm gonna say, give me this, copy, and let's put it here, and then add it, right? Now inside this, we can select options and we pick up our option. The first one is Umbrella DNS security. Inside it, we have got DNS essentials and DNS advantage, the main two. Do you want that? No. And then do you want Umbrella secure internet gateway, SIG, essentials, and advantage? All right. I can have a add-on cloud firewall and data loss prevention and so on, reserved IP address and other RBI, remote browser isolation and so on. Not important right now for me. All I care about is just go with this one and say, hey, I need 300 users. All right, just add it, please. And then the next thing I need to make sure is I go to my services and then I get at least a enhanced support for this. Okay, let me cancel this call. Support for Umbrella, right? And then that being said, now let's get back to the terms. In the terms, I'm going to go edit and just want to make sure this is for 12 months. Payments are prepaid, annual, monthly. Monthly is a better option, you know, easy on budget, but let's go with the annual or prepaid. Doesn't matter right now. One of these. Okay, so done. All right, there we go. We have configured it. If you want to sell it part of, if you want to buy it part of, Cisco call it the secure SSE or secure Cisco Secure Access, right? So in that case, you have another way to get it, and that is called the Secure Access subscription. So then we're gonna talk about it, but this none of these are the best way. The best way would be the next one, which is the complete SASE solution. So I'm gonna add it here and then here, and then when I go ahead select options, you can see that it asks me secure internet access essentials or secure internet access advantage, right? So I would go with advantage. So I said 300 users, and this private one is private access SPA, is for your SD-WAN VPN, you know, connectivity, stuff like that, which is gonna coming up here. We can see that everything is here using the complete what we call Cisco Secure Connect. This is called Cisco Secure Access. The complete package will include your branch access and remote access together. It's called Cisco Secure Connect. Without branch access, just the remote access is called secure. Yeah, secure access. Yeah, so don't be confused about it. Okay, so right now we're talking about this bad boy, essential advantage. So what I'm going to do here is, okay, I want this advantage. I am not worried about this private access, you know, I'm just worried about the good stuff here, the SA advantage, which gives me everything under, you know, application and network access, secure web gateway, roaming security and client support, cloud access security broker, CASB or CASB, data loss prevention, DLP, it takes care of the firewall as a service, threat intelligence, RBI, SIEM, management, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go. 300 users, yeah, good to go. Did I pick my services? Do I need the secure access enhanced support? Yes, I do, one of them. Did I check my terms? Yes or no? Okay, fine. All right, let's go save and verify. All right, to cut it short, let's go to the next one, which is a complete SASE solution. So that complete SASE solution means that includes everything: your branch access, your remote access, you know, it's SIA, secure internet access, remote access, branch access, you know, everything. Secure private access, right? They call it SPA. Remote access called SRA, and then SIA, secure internet access. So everything is here. There's security web filtering, URL filtering, security malware analytics, sandbox submission, you know, CASB, and then cloud malware detection, DNS layer security, and unlimited, and layer 3, layer 4, cloud delivered firewall, L7, with IPS, DLP, unified SASE, right? And then, okay, the ZTNA, client-based access ZTNA, client-less, browser-based ZTNA, right? Granular use, app-based access policy, SAML authentication, posture and contextual access control, reporting remote access. All right, all good. So to do this one, it is called, this is the subscription. So secure access. So let's go ahead and add it here. Well, this is not part of the demo. If not done, if you want that, just let me know so we can. This is a huge one, so yeah, let me know which one you're interested. I can just you know, prepare the scenario and demo on that as well. All right, adding this. I've done so much work on all these. That's why I'm like a little bit, easy to go here, back in there, and for the SKUs and everything. Okay, so then I'm going to select options. Now I am going to go with what? Now the packages are like, now we're complete access, right? Looking for the Cisco Secure Connect complete essentials. No, this is essentials here. No. This is foundational. No, foundation is here on the left side, and I'm not interested. I'm interested in the complete one. The Cisco Secure Connect Complete Advantage package. Is it complete and advantage package, right? Yes. It includes everything. Yes. That is what I care about. I don't want it to go anywhere else. I don't need add-on licenses, so I'm gonna go 300 users, please. Okay, and go to the service. Definitely want to go with a swap. I don't want to go basic. I just want to go enhancement support for Cisco Secure. At least this is a better one. And then go to the terms and click edit. See, 36 months. You see, we got it. Let's make it 12 for now. But we of course get better discounts with 36 months. And if it's over 100K, we have to buy through enterprise agreement, which gives us more bells and whistles and a lot more, not a la carte. Okay, and then save changes, and then save, and then verify, and okay. So there we go. So far, all right. We're done with ordering umbrella and the SIA and the complete SASE solution, secure access. Okay, that's it. Let's go to the next one. What do we have?